Okay, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. This is the first test. Okay, ready? Here we go. I see no sparking anywhere. I don't smell any electrical burning. Now, turn on the monitor. I have it turned off right now. So, kind of the moment of truth. Let's see if it turns on when I flip this switch. That's okay. We'll try again. Welcome back to Stay at Home Dad Game Reviews, where I am actually basically done fixing my Neo Geo cabinet. And yes, sorry, I planned on making this like a 3-video project, but as you saw in the beginning, every time I did a test, something was wrong. And I didn't want to keep making videos and having to backtrack and be like, oh yeah, you remember that one thing I showed you? Don't do that. So, I'm just jumping ahead to when I'm basically done. Literally, I only have 2 things left that I really want to do, and they're just things to make life easier. So they're not necessary, they're just things that I want to do for my cabinet. And I figured, instead of wasting your time talking about everything that I did and showing you how exactly to do this stuff, because there are tons of videos already doing that, I'm just going to show you the things that really sidetracked me while doing this project, and they gave me a lot of trouble. So I'm going to tell you exactly how I fixed them, and hopefully it helps somebody out there while you're trying to fix your own Neo Geo cabinet. So getting started, the first thing that was messing with me was the power supply. I don't really want to get rid of original parts. It's hard to find these things, and if it's still working, why get rid of it? So the first thing that I noticed about this power supply that was really messing with me was how many cords are coming out of it. There are 3 red cords, which, you know, controls the electricity going to your board. And I was very concerned because, as you can see coming off the JAMA harness, there's only 1 cord. And at first I was very confused because literally everyone that had made a video about this before was just like, just plug it in. And yeah, as you can see, that is the solution, but no one told me why. But apparently, with the original power supply and those 3 red cords coming off of it, it gives it just the right amount of juice to run the board properly. But with the JAMA harness, it actually dispenses all of those into different slots once it actually gets to the board itself. So all you have to do is plug in the 1 power cord from the JAMA harness into all 3 of the power cords coming off of your power supply, and it's not too much. It won't fry anything. I was so concerned when I was doing it because I had no clue, because literally everyone in their damn videos was like, just plug it in. It's like, if I knew what the hell I was doing, just plugging it in sounds fine, but if you don't, it's real scary. But it's okay, just plug it in. And moving on from the power supply, what was bothering me about this project was the converter board itself, which converts, of course, the RGB, style outputs from the board into a VGA format so I could plug it into a modern monitor. Apparently, my power cord, well, I didn't want to use a curse word, but it had gone to shit. I don't know why it wasn't powering on. It just wasn't powering up the board at all. And the thing that told me that was there was no LED light on the board lighting up whenever I turned the power onto it. And no one talks about what kind of power supply it needs. And you can see right here on the board itself, it says DC 5 volt to 12 volt. And I was starting to wonder because I already had a 5 volt power supply to it and it wasn't working. So I kept looking everywhere for all these videos, all these like how to do it, like articles and stuff. Literally all of them skipped what kind of power supply they used. So what I ended up doing was buying a brand new 5 volt power supply that fit it, and it works like a dream. Do not plug in a 12 volt. I am pretty sure that popped the old one that I had and just destroyed it, because I had a 5 volt and a 12 volt power supply. And I tried it on my old one, luckily, and now that one doesn't even have the LED that turns on. So use a 5-volt power supply. If you want to plug it in to the power port that they give you, that you could just plug into an external outlet, then just use a 5-volt power supply. Make sure the one that you have is working, because mine wasn't, and it jacked up one of mine. So luckily I didn't test it on my brand new one, so this one's working perfectly now. And one of the only other things that, it didn't really take me a long time to figure this out, but it took a minute. So I figured I'd tell you guys right away, so you don't have to go searching to figure out exactly what the lights are that go inside of your quarter slots. Because you have a freaking Neo Geo, you want your quarter slots to be lit up, because that's boss as hell. So all you have to do is you take this part off, and it slides right off, and you can see that these are the little itty bitty light bulbs that power or light up your quarter slot. And really, it didn't take too long to figure out, but like I said, it took long enough for me to tell you, so you guys don't have to go searching. But all you have to do is find a 161 bulb, and you can actually find these in most places like O'Reilly's or well, now I'm blanking on every other car parts store name, but you can find them in car parts stores. So don't drive yourself crazy trying to figure out exactly what it is. It's just a 161 bulb. They're super easy to find, super cheap, totally worth making it so your coin slots light up. After I got everything hooked up, monitor was working. I actually got a signal from my converter from the regular board to the LCD screen. I was playing with one player, and then I started trying out player 2, and I was like, what the hell is happening? For some reason, only going to the right direction was working for me. Why would these controls not be working? And then, after doing a little bit of reading, luckily I found somebody that said, make sure all your grounds are actually connected to your buttons. And I didn't really think about it, because I was like, of course I have my grounds connected. That was like step 1 of rewiring everything, right? You get the power source, and then you get the ground. But lo and behold, I came back, checked it, and I don't know when this happened, but this is the button to go right, which the ground would continue from here. But as you could tell, there's only one, and I was like, what the hell happened? Somehow the next button that I went put the ground to, both ground ends got popped out. You see that? It's right there and right there. So luckily it's not the board, it's just my damn cords. Good news is, second player works now. It was literally that one ground that popped on both sides. No clue how that happened, but I snipped it, reconnected the rest of them that were actually connected. Player 2 is working great. I do only have 2 problems left. My screen, for some reason, the gameplay is really not grainy, because it's just vertical lines of shit. I don't know what it is. I don't know what would make it do that. I'm really hoping it's just the cartridge that I have, because oddly enough, the text on the game looked clean and crisp. So that's confusing. I have no clue why it's like that. And my Marquee light is being a real dirty son of a bitch right now. At first, I replaced the fluorescent starter, which is this little bad boy, which actually gets your fluorescent light bulb going, and then it gets to its full brightness right after this thing clicks on. That's normally that like click and pop 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 that you hear whenever you turn on a fluorescent light. It's one of these. But I did that. First day, it was bright as hell, looked great. After that, every time I tried it, it was really dim, and just now I was turning everything on to prepare to record, and I was like, maybe I just have it in backwards or something. I pulled this thing out, flipped it around, plugged it in, and it was literally smoking. It smelled like burnt rubber and like electrical fire, like before the fire starts. So I unplugged it. It's still warm to the touch, and it literally smells like it smells exactly like a match after you strike it, and if you blow it out and you immediately sniff it. That's what it smells like right now. So I believe I'm actually going to replace the Marquee fluorescent light bulb, because it's just giving me so much trouble. I don't really want to deal with it. They get hot. I think I'm going to replace it with LED strip, so it's actually an even lighting. It'll be nice and bright, no heat, and, well, man, beyond that, I'm getting damn close. I'm getting so damn close. Like, oh my gosh. I'm getting excited. And back to future me. Sorry about the weird jumps. It's when I was still trying to make multiple videos. And what I was talking about before, I thought it'd be cool to actually see in the moment. But now I have replaced the entire harness that had the fluorescent light bulb on it. And now I got these beautiful LED strip that not only have a beautiful white coloring, but you could do all sorts of crazy colors with this, and it actually looks really fun. I really enjoy it behind the Marquee. And what was really great, and I kind of did it on purpose, I didn't know it would work so dang well, but I actually bought an LED strip that had a dongle hang down, so you can see that little white box right there is the power source for the whole LED strip. And then this white cord coming down actually comes down where the glass comes down, or goes in for the monitor. And it's ghetto as hell, but I sharpied with a black Sharpie. I sharpied in the dongle, and now you can't even see it while you're just playing. And just this great remote, you could just be like, oh, you know what, I want red. No, never mind, I want green. No, maybe blue. No, white. I'll go with classic. I love it. So that's worked really, really well so far. A couple of the final things that I finally resolved and want to talk about is, yes, the reason I had such vertical tearing on just the action of the games was the cartridge itself. Luckily, my buddy had a spare one and he gave it to me, so now my games work gorgeously. Oh, it's amazing. I'm loving every minute of this. And the other thing that I wanted to do that I was talking about earlier is one of those minor quality of life things that I was gonna add to the cabinet is, for some reason, my monitor, every time I turn on my cabinet, it turns on, turns off. It doesn't give the Neo Geo any time to actually send a signal to it before it just powers off saying, oh, there's no signal. So every time I had to push this damn power button, and I figured the coolest way to fix that is to add another arcade button to the back, which, of course, when you press it, I'm going to have it around right here. It's going to be real simple mechanics. It's just going to be like a stick with a foot on the end. So just reach around your Neo Geo, hit the button, turn on the monitor so I don't have to use a damn remote from the front, which is just a pain in the ass, and I'm not going to do it. Really. And the only other thing I wanted to show you is I actually took out, when I took out the fluorescent harness, everything that held in the fluorescent light, I took it out and I actually put that board right here, mounted my monitor to it, and then I actually made a frame to go around the monitor itself, which really looks just so freaking clean, and it looks like it's the way it's supposed to look. I know it's not, but oh, I think I did a pretty damn good job. So I'm gonna do a little loop of this beautiful son of a bitch when it's finally finished, and then I would love to hear what you guys think.